Okay, of course I've tried to do this fucking recording like a quintillion times, and every single time something happens, it doesn't record or something, someone or something interrupts me. I'll just do a quick TLDR and hover my equips. I don't really like when people do this in videos because every single video is the same. Like, most items are 22. Most, if not all, items are 3 line. And if something is not 22, it's probably just the Arcane Umbra. In my case, it's my Arcane Umbra and my Superior. So that's it, pretty quick. Then, of course, as expected, my Legion is 8k. Okay, just a little bit of a lag. Crit rate is, I put my Legion in crit rate and not on IED because I have a lot of IED. Right now I'm just using like flex link skills, so yeah. So just flex link skills like this, even this, just even this, just to like flex a little bit harder on my stat window. This is not like what I would use for bossing, but I figure why not. So now, familiars, yeah. For this, for the people that just don't give a fuck what I'm going to talk about later. So 100% damage, and this is another setup with 45 AD and 70 damage. So that's pretty much the TLDR. I think I forgot nothing. Oh well, my stat window is this. I already opened it, but this is it. So now, like the more interesting part is just like a story time about how kind of I got my items and my pots, like especially double primes, because those are kind of interesting, and talk a little bit about my WSE, which is 6-1, pretty dog shit. So I was a 21 gamer for the longest time, and I set at 21, and then I got all my items but my arcanes to 21. And then one day, like 30% off, the last 30% off, I think, I was just in VC with epic people, and I got coerced into just tapping some items because I unlocked them because I knew I was going to tap at some point. I was going to go past 21. And I did my belt first, and my belt was fucking tragic. It was 30%, so I also wasn't safeguarding, but I had like 12, 13 replacements, and I did just keep booming and booming and booming and booming, and I was like, nah, bro, 22 is not it. And this went 22. And then the best shade in Reboot, you know who I'm talking about, it's the man himself, Pathu. He just went to do, you have to tap your CRAs. It's 30% off, you have a bunch of replacements. I was like, okay. So I tapped my hat, my top, my bottom, and they all passed. Pretty nice. So till this point, people were like, oh, yeah, congrats, dude. 22, nice. Like, couple booms on the belt, but it's pretty nice overall. Then I said, well, I have this. So I kind of want to see if my Sweetwater Pendant goes. And if it doesn't, I just transpose the new Dominator, and I tried 22, because this is like a pretty insane flame. And I would have kind of liked for my Sweetwater Pendant to boom, but it didn't. It just passed. Pretty happy about it, and people were like, oh, okay, I mean, you could have gotten like an insane Sweetwater Pendant, but you got another 22. And this passed as well, because I tapped it, and then this passed as well, and people were like, okay, dude, it's kind of time for you to start booming some shit, you know? So after these, I think I stopped, and I did my arcanes that were 17, and this passed, this boomed, 17 to 18 tragic, and then this went 19 with no booms. I was pretty happy overall. It was like 30 bill in total, which I think is kind of expected value, but pretty nice. So I stopped here because I know 30% off is not it for arcanes, so I'm gonna wait for 5 and 15 to like push my arcanes further. Probably 19, maybe 21, who knows, maybe if I'm lucky. I hope I'm lucky. So then for rings, this was locked, then I tapped my monocle went on 30% as well. People were like, okay, dude, we need to see a boom. Okay, this is too much. And I boomed my Superior. And I was like, okay, fine. I have sacrificed the Superior for like the rest of my items going with no booms. My Reinforced boom as well, but I had replacements. Got it to 22 in like, I want to say 22 bill. Then this was locked, and my, like I said, Sweetwater and Counter Treasure locked. And this was 21, and I sent it and I boomed. So it was 17. And I had one replacement. And I just recovered it. So these two were 17. This was 22, this was 21, this was 21. Then off event, like a psychopath I am, I tapped my tattoo. It took me like 5 bill, didn't boom, but it went. And then my Counter Treasure was one tap, 21 to 22. No replacement, so I could have had a 22 a long time ago. Then I just raw dogged it, no replacements, absolute psychopath. Like just called the police. This shit 22 and 30% off, not even safeguarding. And then this, I had 3 replacements and no, I had 4 replacements. They all boomed. I was safeguarding, of course. So a little bit sad about this. I'm gonna lose the pot. I'm gonna transfer. Last 30% off, I boomed like 6 of these, and then I boomed 1 of these. So a little bit tragic, but it is what it is. Just waiting on like another replacement for Galix for the time being, and then I'll try to send. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I'll try to send a 21. Try to tap it. If it goes 22, this shit becomes a drop gear. Maybe I raw dog it, get it 22, then some 23 taps. You know, give the people the content. But I don't know. As for flames, my flames are pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna touch my flames ever again, unless of course I get like a dark boss set item. Really doubt it, but this is 1640. This is 56 equivalent. So if it was int, it would be insanely good with like 64 equivalent. But it's dex, still pretty good. The 5% all set flex on a Galix item is pretty nice. This is shit. I'm gonna like sugarcoat it. This is pretty bad. 70 and 5 is 60 and 5 pre-transpose. It's barely 100. It is 100 on the dot unless you think your all set is more than 8. This is even worse because this is just 70, 60 and 5 and like 20 strength or 15 strength before the transpose. So it's like 101, 102 equivalent. And this is a fucking pop mark, you know, so I should have gone harder, but I was spending like 30 bill on it, and I got something that was 100, and I was gonna not get memed as hard, so I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll roll with it, and if I ever get an eye patch, it's gonna be quote-unquote easier to beat if the flame is not as good, but I was just a little frustrated with the amount of flames I was using. I actually had like 14k points when we got the compensation, so I flamed a lot. I don't recommend flaming Star Forces King. Shiwar Tattoo is 38 and 30. It's math, so 24, 42, like 62 equivalent. I think that's pretty decent for a Sweetwater. Should have realistically gone for like 70 equivalent on a 160 item, but to be honest, I couldn't bother. This is good. 72 and 6 is good on CRA. Not like insane, but good. This is decent. For stat on strength equivalent, like 64 and 6, decent, and this is 64, 40 and 6. Pretty much these two are identical, just that 4 more strength here is not really gonna make a difference. Then for my arcane flames, I don't have any like insane arcane flames, but I don't think any are like meme worthy. This is 96 and 6 is like almost 150 with the strength. This is 150 with a strength, considering attack like between 2 and 3 stat per attack, and then this is of course 150 equivalent. So I'm like happy with my arcane flames. No insane arcane flames, but it is what it is. Then this is a pretty good. This is pretty good. 36 and 4. It's like 70 equivalent. Pretty happy with it. And I think I'm missing. Okay. This one is 28 and 4. So 8 less than this. Still pretty good. Like double fake double prime with some old stat. I'm pretty happy. Then my weapon flame is good. So tier 6 attack, tier 5 boss, tier 5 old stat. I wouldn't reroll this because this is gonna get replaced at some point, like pretty far in the future, but it's gonna get replaced, so I wouldn't touch that. And this is replaceable with a book drop if it ever happens, but it's decent, so I wouldn't touch this anyways. About my double USC, well, this is double prime, yeah, very nice. Double USC situation, I got this. This is probably like the third realistic best thing you can get after like maybe like 24 attack, 30 ID on 3 line. So I don't want to touch this. It's expensive to get something better. People undervalue IED. I even use IED fams because that's how valuable IED is. Solo bossing, at least if you have like a bunch of characters that increase your IED or like shred the boss's armor, then yeah, I guess you want to go 3 line attack, but this is pretty good. Like the third line of attack is gonna give him like maybe 0.5% final damage, and I don't really care for that. This is also double primed, pretty good when you want to attack 35 boss, since we might get the changes to thinking about like working on Korea or changing damage to final damage, then boss damage is gonna be very valuable. And then this I don't want to touch because this is gonna get replaced at some point. If when I get my Genesis weapon, I really want a 3-9 attack, but for the time being, I'm not gonna sweat this. If I touch this weapon for anything, I would just send it to 19 stars because I've gotten 2 drops from Will. Very nice of him to give me some weapons. And on an overall, I've run like 100 hard lucid runs and got nothing on this. I got a Phantom Icon. I'm pretty happy about that, but on this character, nothing from lucid. Fuck you, lucid. And that's pretty much it. As for the Legion situation, it's just 8k, like nothing special. Crit rate, because I want to flex some bigger BAs and I want to kind of make up for my lack of burst damage as an archer. Pretty much every archer has like a bad burst compared to most classes, unless you're Mercedes and you have your activation Arcalas with Roar 4, and then your burst is pretty good. Link skill situation, pretty much everything is level 3. That has to be level 3. Phantom Blink, maybe I push to level 3 for some like extra juicy BA flexes. And Aaron level 3 for trading to 270 whatever. I decide to stop because I'm a Totem gamer and fuck training on Totem. But I don't really think like pushing Aaron to level 3 is gonna make even a noticeable difference. Same thing with Phantom, so I might not even like try that. And I think that's pretty much it. Well, about my like the familiar situation, from this to this, I did before they changed familiars. So when you could still farm like boogies and serpents and odas before they nerfed them. So I got my 45 ID here, the large drop here. This was done with the red cards we got from like compensation. This was with crit rate, so some crit damage on vicious shot, pretty nice, but this is gonna be less replaced with this. So this is just, I just keep it because maybe at some point it's better. But so this was like for meso before the changes, this was for healing before the changes. So I got you know, my 90% boss and some ID. And did someone get something? Oh, never mind. So I have some auto steal to like, I got some auto steal. Maybe they were good. They're not really, so I don't recommend running auto steal unless you have absolutely nothing better to run when you're farming. This, and this. Don't worry about it. So I have healing here, and I think this is healing. Yeah. Then I have some more auto steal, some attack that's gonna come in handy for farming. Turning Sodium, I would really like a third attack, but that's asking for a lot. This is my best familiar 40 boss, 3% dex is insane. And then this is just 30% boss damage, and I think this line eliminates apples. So if you wanna like wreck epic GPQ, just Babel me and we'll figure something out. And I think someone tapped something. Oh, okay, he got the lock off, and then he anviled the pizza cutter, the black pizza cutter, Pog. That's pretty much it. So that's my equipment video, and thank you for watching.